Hello, my name is Blake and I am working with Kyle to bring you a short presentation on HTML5. In way of background, Kyle and I have both worked at Chesapeake Energy. Chesapeake Energy is a natural gas company in Oklahoma City. We have done software development for them for many years, and I now currently work at SST Software here in Stillwater, Oklahoma as a software engineer. We have both been tasked with many desktop and web development projects. We have seen the challenges that occur when you try to take a desktop application to a web application, and especially trying to emulate the same type of performance that you had on your desktop application. For that reason, HTML5 appeals to us because there are many benefits that we are hoping to obtain with the new HTML5 standard. Just in way of HTML history, it began in 1991. Some of us in our 20s and early 30s believe that HTML1 has been around forever, but it has just been around since 1991. Tim Berners-Lee created a system that allowed documents to be hyperlinked together, and this quickly exploded on the internet and allowed many documents to be linked together and for information to really become easily accessible to all those who had an internet connection. From there, HTML2 was developed in 1995, quickly followed by HTML3 and HTML4 in 1997. HTML4 is what we currently know. It's been the same standard since 1997. Better ways of working with HTML4 now exist, but there hasn't been a redefinition of the standard of HTML since that time. For that reason, HTML5 has come around in January 2008. The draft was proposed, and we now see modern web browsers such as Google Chrome, Firefox, and Internet Explorer 9 tackling the implementation of the HTML5 draft. It is important to note that those modern browsers, Google Chrome and Firefox, will work well with the HTML5 standard on all operating systems, but Internet Explorer 9 will only work on Windows 7. So, why do we need HTML5? Well, simply, there are a couple of things that are not standardized, and that lack of standardization has problems across different browsers and across different operating systems and devices. Most notably is video and audio. For those of you who have had an iPhone, you knew for a long time there was not a standard way of delivering video to the iPhone. For that reason, we did not have access to a lot of Adobe Flash videos because this was not something that Apple wanted to implement. And so the same type of problem also exists with web storage and also with 2D graphics. Now with 2D graphics we have had a lot of performance problems because there is not a standard way of doing it, and so there's been some clever techniques developed with CSS and images, but it's just not the performance that you get when you're creating a desktop application that needs to do a lot of complex 2D graphic rendering. Now, next up, I'm going to turn over to Kyle, and he's going to explain some benefits as well as show some examples of HTML5.
Like Blake said, my name is Kyle Nuenswander, and I will be going over some of the benefits of HTML5, as well as walking through some examples of what it offers us. First up is the canvas tag. The canvas tag may seem a little unnecessary, but for simple screen drawing, it's why many developers turn to Flash or Silverlight. Very cool and somewhat nostalgic demo of the canvas tag is canvaspaint.org. Canvas Paint is an MS Paint replica and shows how browser apps can somewhat replicate traditional desktop apps. Another tag that is very much requested is the video tag. Sites like YouTube are currently testing out using the HTML5 tag to stream videos, but with YouTube's quirks, I headed over to html5demos.com/video to show how a video of a cat chasing a laser pointer can be easily shown using the video tag. The audio tag really follows the same principle as the video tag, but if you want to know more, you can head over to html5doctor.com and check out the supported codecs. As it stands today, no codec is supported by all browsers. The closest they come to a common codec is Wave, but Chrome refuses to implement it as of yet. On to storage. It's very important to be able to store data disconnected. I know many people will push the cloud as the end-all be-all of storage, and yet sometimes in real life you need to run disconnected for a while, especially when you're using a mobile device and have limited bandwidth to spare or run out of network coverage. We send people into the field every day with iPads and iPhones, and local storage is a must for us. Some other cool features are drag and drop functionality, which really gives web applications a native feel. That's really a high-level overview of HTML5 and some major enhancements over HTML4. There are many features of HTML5, and if you have interest, please visit html5demos.com to see more. My full-time job is mainly spent writing Silverlight or WPF, but when I contract on the side, most contracts lately have involved non-Silverlight or Flash technologies to encourage support on mobile devices, while continuing to maintain feature-rich applications. HTML5 helps developers achieve this when they don't necessarily have control over what plugins are allowed to be installed. Thank you all for your time.